Should developers ever feel forced to decrease the difficulty in their game just so more gamers can have access to it? Let's talk about it right here on The Dose, episode 135. So I'm a little late to the party on this topic, but I wanted to talk about video game challenge or difficulty, if you will. I've been reading a lot of articles, watched a lot of videos, and there's a lot of journalists out there who were saying that, especially because Cuphead came out, right? And Cuphead was, it was a struggle for some gamers, right? It was difficult for a reason. And they're saying that because of that game, we should now have the topic or the discussion of video game difficulty on the table, and that these developers need to start making games that are accessible to everybody. And this is coming from the mindset that when you play a game like Cuphead, right? Based on the difficulty that you choose when you go into some of these boss fights will determine how much of the boss fight you can actually see. In other words, there might be 4 forms to a boss fight. And if you're playing it on an easier difficulty, you might only get to see 2 of those forms or 3 of those forms. And the final form is reserved for the quote unquote good gamers out there. This is what the journalists are saying. And that they have access to portions of the games that you don't have access to if you choose to play it on an easier difficulty. Let me go ahead and say this right now, guys. I find this to be a very stupid topic. I really do. If I were an athlete, right, and I were coming out of high school, right, I said, you know what, I want to go to college and pursue my athletic career. I want to become a pro, whatever, football player, basketball player, doesn't matter, right? But that's what I want to do. Well, I have the choice to choose which athletic venture I want to go down, right? Which path I want to go down. If I know in my mind that I don't want to run at breakneck speeds and collide with another human being at full speed, then football is probably not the athletic career that I should be pursuing. In other words, I have a choice. You see what I'm saying? I have a choice to which athletic career I want to pursue. And it's no different than gaming. You take a player like Shaquille O'Neal who couldn't really shoot free throws all that well, right? Should the entire free throw process be refashioned just for Shaquille O'Neal? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense, man. I think developers should be able to make the game they want to make, a game that requires you to become an actual better gamer, whether it be through your smarts with puzzle solving or whether it be through your reaction time, right, through a game like Cuphead, because that's really what Cuphead boils down to, is just reacting. It's pattern recognition, things of that nature. If they want to make that kind of game, man, then they get to make that kind of game. And there's just going to be some gamers out there who are just not going to be able to play. Just like there's some people out there who will never become a doctor. There's some of us out here who will never become a pro athlete. It's just the way that it works. So I don't know. I find this topic to be one of those topics that, like, a journalist is sitting around one day and they're like, man, I really don't have nothing else to talk about. You know what I mean? Nothing else is really popping off in the news right now. So you know what? Let me just say that games should be easier. You know what I mean? That we should alter the difficulty so that everybody has access to every single game. And it's just, I find it mind numbing, guys. I really do. Sometimes I get on these journalists or these media websites, right? And I just absolutely go crazy. I'm like, this is really what we're talking about right now? Like, this is really what's quote unquote hot news? I even read some article, guys, where a journalist was saying that there should not be, or there should be boss fights in games, but there should be a skip button. Like, you should be able to skip boss fights. If they're too hard for you, you should be able to skip them. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care what people do in their single player experience. If they ever introduced a boss skip button and you wanted to use it to get through your games, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? But to say that a developer has to put that in there, you see what I'm saying? That's where I find it to be a little bit weird. If a developer wants to put a boss skip button in their game, then hey, have at it. I'm not going to use it. You can, right? I don't consider myself a better gamer than you. You guys know how I feel about that kind of stuff. But like I said, for a journalist to say that all games should start having a boss skip button in them so that everybody can have access and all this kind of stuff, and we should change the difficulty and this, that. No, man. No, you're taking away the developer's freedom to be able to make a game that they want to make, right? Some developers just want to make a game that's hard, whether it be through puzzles, platforming, or whatever, right? There's all kind of levels of difficulty, right? And we should allow them to have that freedom. And we as gamers just have to realize that at the end of the day, there's going to be some games that we can't play. You know what I mean? Unless we're ready to really sit down and put the time into it and become better at whatever that developer is asking us to do, which I think is possible in most cases, not in all cases. Then there's just some things we're not going to be able to play. I was a really good basketball player growing up, not that good at football. Why? I wasn't ready to put the time into it that it took. I probably could have, right? But basketball was my thing. That's what I focused on. That's what I chose to play. We as gamers have to realize that we choose to play these games, right? But some games choose us based on their difficulty. And there's just going to be some games, guys, that I'm never going to be able to play, and you're never going to be able to play because of the way it was created and based on how much time we want to put into it. And that's really the end of the discussion. I really don't see what the hoopla is about. And this has been going on ever since Cuphead dropped. There's been article after article and video after video. And should we change? No, man, we shouldn't change anything, right? We should just play the games that we are drawn to. Some games, like I said, choose us because they're made for us. They have that quality in the game that we're looking for. And then that's it. The other games you write off as games that I either know I'm never going to be able to be good at because it's not up my alley, or I know I'm never going to be able to invest the time it takes to be good at it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, all I ask is that you consider supporting my work over on Patreon. Currently, I don't run any ads on my videos, so the only way that I can earn any revenue on this platform is through crowdfunding. So any help you can throw my way would be greatly appreciated. For more information, you can click the box on the left-hand side of the screen, or to be the first link in the description below. Thank you.